Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, please a round of applause for the Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, His Excellency, Vice President Kashim Shettima, Grand Commander of the Order of the Major. Congratulations, Your Excellency. At this point, may I crave the indulgence of the Commander Gas Brigade to kindly usher the new Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria to take his seat at the VIP stand. The Commander, sir.
Mesdames et Messieurs, c'était la prestation de serment au nouveau vice-président du Nigeria, Son Excellence Kashim Shettima, qui est accompagné avec sa belle femme, Hajianana Kashim Shettima.
Your Excellencies, distinguished invited guests,
Mesdames et Messieurs,
ladies and gentlemen,
le vice-président du Nigeria, il est allé saluer le président sortant, son Excellence président Buhari, et le vice-président, vice-président Yemi Osinbajo. Nous avons des personnalités ici. Nous avons ici même devant moi le président du Libéria, le président George Weah, le président du Niger et autres personnalités qui sont là. Au nom de la fraternité et la solidarité africaine, soyez les bienvenus, le seul ballon d'or africain.
Thank you very much. Next to be sworn in is the exalted office of His Excellency, the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, Federal Republic of Nigeria. May I once again crave the indulgence of the Commander Gas Brigade to please invite His Excellency, the 16th President-elect Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, to the saluting days for the swearing-in of oath of office. And he's being accompanied by
Excellence, invité distingué, mesdames et messieurs, c'est un moment historique pour le Nigeria. J'invite respectueusement le commandant de la brigade de garde à inviter le président élu de la République fédérale du Nigeria, son Excellence Bola Ahmed Tinubu, accompagné par sa belle femme, Madame Olusegun Tinubu, pour la prestation du serment. Excellence, vous avez la parole.
Merci beaucoup, Madame Badejou.
Let me roll the kid first.
I, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, do solemnly swear that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and that I will preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. So help me God.
Applaudissements.
Bola Ahmed Tinubu, do solemnly swear that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to the Federal Republic of Nigeria, that as President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, I will discharge my duties and perform my functions honestly, to the best of my ability, and faithfully, in accordance with the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and the law. That I will abide by the Code of Conduct contained in the 5th schedule to the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, that I will not allow my personal interest to influence my official conduct or my official decisions. That I will preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. So, help me God.
Ladies and gentlemen, please applause for President of the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, His Excellency Ahmed Tinubu, as he takes his oath of office and sign the dotted lines confirming him as the new President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Thank you.
C'est le moment historique. Maintenant, la prestation du serment par son Excellence, le Président de la Nigeria, son Excellence Bola Ahmed Tinubu, qui maintenant prête le serment. Maintenant, c'est la signature.
While the President is signing, just like her predecessor, we heartily welcome the 16th First Lady Federal Republic of Nigeria, Her Excellency, Senator Mrs. Oluremi Tinubu, wife of the 16th President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, Federal Republic of Nigeria, His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, an educationist, administrator, and philanthropist, Oluremi Tinubu, as First Lady of Lagos State, established the New Era Foundation, dedicated to establishing centers for all-round development of young ones and promote public awareness on environmental health and community service. Oluremi Tinubu has executed a lot of philanthropical acts to alleviate the plight of indigent persons, and most importantly, she has touched the lives of girls and women in her constituency. In recognition of her achievements and contribution to societal upliftment, Senator Oluremi Tinubu has been honored severally, both locally and internationally. Among these are the National Award of the Officer of the Order of the Niger, Ghana Noble International Award of Leadership, Gambia Diamond Award for immense contribution to the emancipation of people from poverty, many citations and chieftaincy titles. In appreciation of her contribution as a role model, the West African Women Association named the Oluremi Tinubu Women Training Center in Gorom, Senegal, after her. From First Lady, Lagos State, to Senator, and today, the First Lady of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. You are heartily welcome on board.
Mesdames et messieurs, voici le moment. Eagle Square a éclaté. Nous avons applaudi avec la prestation de serment au président du Nigeria, son Excellence, Président Bola Ahmed Tinubu, le Jagaban. La biographie de la première dame nigériane. La première dame nigériane, Madame Oluremi Tinubu, elle est pédagogue, administrateur, philanthrope. Elle est née le 21 septembre 1960. A fait ses études supérieures à l'Université d'Ife, après lequel elle est devenue la première dame de Lagos. Elle a posé sa candidature aux élections. Elle est devenue membre député depuis le 28 mars 2015. Madame Tinubu, en reconnaissance de ses réalisations et réalisations de ses contributions à l'amélioration de la société, elle a été honorée plusieurs fois, localement et internationalement. Actuellement, elle est la 6e première dame du Nigeria. Félicitations, membre du député Oluremi Tinubu, la nouvelle première dame du Nigeria. Merci beaucoup.
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, please a round of applause for the President of the Federal.
Well, it's done. The end of one administration, the beginning of another. We've just witnessed there as breaking news, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu sworn in as president, and his vice president Kashim Shettima sworn in also as president of Nigeria. From this point onwards, Bola Ahmed Tinubu is now the 16th president and head of state of Nigeria, president and commander-in-chief of the armed forces of Nigeria. And this is the 7th transition program in Nigeria since the return to civilian rule in 1999. There, in the, on the screen, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu with members of his family. First Lady, Senator Oluremi Tinubu, and then other members of the family, including the children of the President Tinubu. There, now you have the outgoing president, or rather the outgone president, with the president of Nigeria. Former President Muhammadu Buhari there with President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Old, new.
This morning by the Regimental Sergeant Major Guards Brigade, Nigerian Army, Master Warrant Officer Ali Umar. The flag bearers are Corporal Kalu Chigozie of the Nigerian Army, Able Seaman Etimoa Emmanuel of the Nigerian Navy, Sergeant Kanu Samson of the Nigerian Army, and Sergeant Undoma Patrick of the Nigerian Air Force. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, it may interest you to know that this highly regimented aspect of the occasion is usually observed during transition of power, as we will witness shortly. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, please happy viewing.
Mesdames et messieurs, l'activité que nous témoignons à côté des salutations et l'abaissement des drapeaux. Il y a 2 drapeaux, si vous voyez bien. Il y a le drapeau de la défense et le drapeau national. L'abaissement des drapeaux signifie la nouvelle ère et le nouveau drapeau, le nouveau ère dans la dispensation de la justice au Nigeria. Et voici ce que nous allons témoigner. Les activités sont faites par 2 soldats de marine nationale et de l'armée de terre.
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, please may we all rise while officers and warrant officers in uniform are to salute as the national and defense flag are being lowered while the retreat is played. Thank
Mesdames
you.
et messieurs, les officiers en uniforme et les sous-officiers doivent saluer. C'est une activité très militaire qui signifie la passation du pouvoir entre ancien président Muhammadu Buhari et le nouveau président Bola Ahmed Tinubu. C'est une activité par la force armée nigériane qui va signifier le changement de drapeau, entre autres. Merci beaucoup.
That was the lowering of the national and defense flag done by Corporal Kalu Chigozie of the Nigerian Army and Able Seaman Etimoa Emmanuel of the Nigerian Navy, signifying the end of a dispensation in the political arena of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And at the end of the lowering of the national and defense flags, they would now proceed to fold the flag before handing them over to the Regimental Sergeant Major Gas Brigade, who will in turn proceed to hand it over to the Commander Gas Brigade, Brigadier General A.M. Umar, after which he will also proceed to hand it over to the Chief of Defense Staff, General Lucky Rabo, CFR, who would be finally handing it over to the immediate past President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, His Excellency Muhammadu Buhari, signifying the end of his administration. We shall be witnessing that shortly.
Stand up!
Ce que se passe, mesdames et messieurs, est le pillage des deux drapeaux, le drapeau national et le drapeau de la défense. Et comme j'ai dit, vous verrez les deux officiers qui sont au terrain de parade. Il y a le commandant de brigade de garde, le général de brigade A.M. Umar, qui va recevoir les deux anciens drapeaux et le deux nouveaux drapeaux. Il le passera au chef du corps de la défense, le général Lucky Irabo. Et Irabo passera les deux drapeaux au président du Nigeria, le président Bola Ahmed Tinubu. C'est ça qui signifie le début d'une nouvelle ère de la disposition et de la gouvernance au Nigeria. C'est une activité très militaire et indication qui indique la passation du pouvoir. Voilà pourquoi nous sommes ici ce matin.
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, what you are witnessing at the moment is the folding of the national and defense flags. They are being done by Corporal Kalu Chigozie of the Nigerian Army, Able Seaman Etimoa Emmanuel of the Nigerian Navy, Sergeant Samson Kanu of the Nigerian Army, and Sergeant Ndoma Patrick of the Nigerian Air Force. And see them paying compliment after folding the flag. The flag bearers turn about and march smartly towards the Regimental Sergeant Major Gas Brigade, Master Warrant Officer Aliu Umar, who is carrying a case as he pays compliment, opens the case, and first the defense flag is being placed, and the old national flag is also being placed in the case, carried by the Regimental Sergeant Major Gas Brigade. Pay compliment as he turns to his right, marching smartly towards the Commander Gas Brigade, Brigadier General A.M. Umar. Comes to a halt as the commander pays compliment. He takes a step forward, hands over the case flag to the Commander Gas Brigade. As he takes steps backward, paying compliment, the commander turns to his right, marching towards the Chief of Defense Staff, General Lucky Rabo, CFR, who pays compliment before receiving the case flag from the commander.
Le général de corps de brigade vient de passer le drapeau national et le drapeau de la défense. Son Excellence, le général Irabo marche majestueusement vers le président. Il passera le drapeau à l'ancien président Buhari et M. Buhari passera le drapeau au nouveau président Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
You can see the Chief of Defense Staff handing over the old national and defense flag to the immediate past president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, His Excellency Muhammadu Buhari, signifying the end of his administration, as the new national and defense flag will be given once again to the Chief of Defense Staff. And see the new cased flag, national and defense flag being presented to the new president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who will in turn present the new national and defense flag to the Chief of Defense Staff, General Lucky Rabo, CFR, as he turns about.
Le président Bola Ahmed Tinubu a passé le drapeau au chef de corps de l'armée de la défense, le général Irabo. Irabo passera le drapeau au commandant des gardes de brigade et nous aurons l'usage de ces deux drapeaux dans quelques minutes. C'est la passation du pouvoir. Merci beaucoup.
You can see the Chief of Defense Staff handing over the case flag to the Commander Guards Brigade, who turns about and proceeds to hand it over to the Regimental Sergeant Major Guards Brigade, Nigerian Army, Master Warrant Officer Aliyu Umar. He pays compliment and receives the case flag from the Commander Guards Brigade, Brigadier General Aliyu Umar, who pays compliment as the Regimental Sergeant Major turns about carrying the brand new cased national and defense flags to hand it over to the flag bearers as they pay compliment. He opens the case flag, and first to be retrieved is the new national flag by Sergeant Ndoma Patrick of the Nigerian Air Force, and the new defense flag by Sergeant Kanu Samson of the Nigerian Army. Pays compliment as they turn about, proceed to hand them over to Corporal Kamu Chigozie of the Nigerian Army and Ebo Seaman Timor Emmanuel of the Nigerian Navy. Compliment being paid there once again as they take a step forward to receive the brand new national and defense flags compliment being paid as a turnabout and proceed of the national and defense flags respectively, signifying the beginning of a new administration of the President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR.
Mesdames et messieurs, vous témoignez maintenant l'issage du drapeau et du drapeau de la défense, ce qui signifie le commencement de la nouvelle administration et une nouvelle ère pour le Nigeria. C'est vraiment un moment historique, l'issage du nouveau drapeau. Merci.
As the reveille is played while the new national and defense flag are being hosted. Thank you. guests, ladies and gentlemen, at the end of the lowering and hosting of the national and defense flag, respectively, may I now most respectfully Defense Staff General Bucky Irabo, TFR, to take his seat. And may I also crave the indulgence of the Commander Gas Brigade to usher the immediate past President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria to take his seat. The Commander, sir. And swearing-in ceremony of the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. We witnessed a short while ago the lowering and hosting of the national and defense flag, respectively, signifying the end and the beginning of a new dispensation. What we shall be witnessing any moment from now is the inspection of the various guards by the President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR. His exit after handing over to the President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Good.
Presidential inauguration parade from the 29 October, 450 members of the armed forces and Nigerian police on parade. Ready.
Well, there we can see the former president of Nigeria, President Muhammadu Buhari, taking his leave. He goes straight to the airport, and from there he's lifted back to his base. As we've been informed, he will be on his way to Daura, his hometown, and he has waved everyone goodbye. And now the 16th president of Nigeria, President Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, after that change of colors, is now going to inspect the parade. Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, President Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces. Well, I read an article this morning. We're still waiting for the exact title that he will choose. Yes. Whether he will prefer to be addressed as Chief or as Asiwaju or simply as President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. But we'll know in due course as soon as his protocol people inform the public accordingly.
Yes.
The special guest photo and reviewing officer for today's historic occasion, former senator and two-term governor of Lagos State, a founding member and former national leader of Nigeria's governing party, the All Progressives Congress, a notable progressive leader, His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is a visionary who has made sacrifices to advance the common goal in Nigeria and beyond. His Excellency Bola Ahmed Tinubu obtained a degree in Business Administration, Accounting and Management from Chicago State University, Illinois, United States of America in 1979. He was on Chicago State University Dean's List throughout his stay at the university and won an outstanding Students Award and also bagged a certificate of merit in accounting and finance. In his final year, he emerged president, Chicago State University Accounting Society. It should be worthy of mention that while still in the university, His Excellency Bola Ahmed Tinubu was headhunted for both international and local companies, including Mobile, Nigeria, where he held important positions like senior auditor and company treasurer. He left the company to embark upon his political career in 1989. The virtues of courage, determination, commitment, vision, focus, and a strong sense of purpose that have characterized Bola Tinubu's politics drove his emergence as one of the country's most successful governors after Nigeria's return to democratic governance 23 years ago. His stewardship of Lagos State between 1999 and 2007 remains a reference for good governance in Nigeria and across the region. Among the most influential and impressive of his achievements as the governor of Lagos was his revolution of the state's environmental policies and the creation of thousands of jobs for Lagosians through the private sector partnership program he established. Other important achievements while governor of Lagos include education reforms under which now thriving mission schools were returned to their original owners after decades of government control. Free education and West African Examination Council forms for school leaders, giving underprivileged children access to further education, more career opportunities, and better life prospects. Civil service reforms, which led directly to the introduction of a more responsive and expert-led civil service in Lagos. Judicial reforms and Lagos Master Plan blueprint, which has been and continues to be followed with great success by all subsequent governors of Lagos. Also worthy of mention is that as a first-class financial strategist, His Excellency Bola Ahmed Tinubu overhauled and reformed government and revenue collection in the state, taking Lagos from a yearly internally generated revenue of 14.64 billion naira in 1999 to 60.31 billion naira in 2006. These innovations laid the groundwork necessary for Lagos to have the revenue to improve the state and modernize living conditions of all of its inhabitants. A graceful leader imbued with courage and commitment to justice, Bola Tinubu combines practical political acumen, strategic vision, and moral principle. When the history of the first 2 decades of the 21st century in Nigeria is written, it will record Bola Tinubu's rare courage and foresight in guiding his party, the All Progressive Congress, to victory in 2015, and how, working with other countries, he abolished the determined efforts of then the ruling party to turn Nigeria into the one-party state. His Excellency Bola Tinubu knows politics much as he understands the game of power. Indeed, his democratic footprints go beyond Nigeria. They span the continent, especially in the immediate West African sub-region, where he has contributed personal resources, advice, and support to help sustain democracy and popular participation in many of the region's emergent democracies. His Excellency Bola Tinubu has served the cause of humanity and expanded the frontiers of freedom and democracy in Nigeria and the African continent. He is one of the Nigerians' foremost nationalists and champions of federalism. as one of the few leaders and champions of democracy with the potential and experience to improve the fortunes of his people. Bola Tinubu is the very best man, and today, the 16th President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. His Excellency, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, is happily married to his lovely wife, the 16th First Lady of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Her Excellency, Senator Mrs. Oluremi Tinubu, and the union is blessed with amazing children.
Mesdames et messieurs, Son Excellence, le 16e président de la République fédérale du Nigeria et commandant en chef des forces armées du Nigeria, GCFR, est né le 29 mars 1952. Il a été 2 fois le gouverneur d'État de Lagos, pendant laquelle il a fait des réformes durables dans les domaines pédagogiques, financiers, judiciaires et la création des emplois. Son Excellence a eu sa licence en l'administration des affaires, comptabilité et la gestion à l'Université de Chicago, Illinois, aux États-Unis. Il a aussi travaillé comme unité supérieure à Mobile.
Son Excellence, le Président a revu la parade. Maintenant, il va continuer avec les délibérations militaires. Ouais.
Thank you. That was the citation on His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. May I now hand over to my co-compare, Captain Anebi Ababa, to continue with the remaining parade.
Thank you very much, Flight Lieutenant. First to say Mrs. Olubumi Badejo and Mr. Mohammed Tijani for the wonderful citation of the special guest of honor on this auspicious occasion. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, at the end of the inspection, we shall witness shortly the parade commander seeking permission to continue with the rest of the parade.
May I have your permission to carry on with the rest of the parade, Your Excellency?
Presidential permission has been sought there and graciously granted by His Excellency, the special guest of honor and the reviewing officer for today's historic occasion. We can see the parade commander, Lieutenant Colonel Salim Yusuf Hassan, riding on a white horse named GMB to take his position to commence the march past. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, please happy viewing.
This inside.
Well, we were here on Wednesday. The court gave us Wednesday as a day to come for our ruling. And then we were given the same information that the court was attending a conference and that the ruling had been adjourned to today. So I take it that at the time they were adjourning to today, they already knew that they would be out of whatever conference they were going to have. So we're here back today, and they are giving us the same excuse of the court attending a conference. We don't think that that is a fair way to treat us. You see, this thing, everybody has rights. I think the impression that as litigants, as people who approach the court, we have no rights. We are absolutely at the mercy of the system. It's a very wrong one. Respect begets respect. You have to respect me as a litigant, then I will respect you as the judex. So if the court, what we see is that we have not been fairly treated. I have been in Abuja for how long now? Nobody has asked me about my hotel bills. I practice from Lagos. If he wasn't going to sit, he should have told me. He should have told me on Wednesday, I'll be back in my chambers in Lagos now. But he asked me to come back today, only to get the same excuse. I don't think it's fair. I don't think it's fair. And as far as I'm concerned, we are, by the grace of God, going to do something about it. In the sense that I think we need to sue. We need to bring it before the court so that it will be examined. What we have lost, the rights that we sought is to restrain this swearing in. So by the court not sitting, we've lost a great deal. So who is going to pay for that? If you came and gave a ruling that we don't have a right, it will be understandable. Now you're seemingly staying away from the court. Makes me understand that we have a right, but for one reason or the other, you cannot find the courage to declare that right. So you are now trying to use absence from the court as a means of depriving me of that right. So I'm going to sue, you're going to pay. You will pay for it. You pay for it. You are going to tell me why you left the court. And we will fight it to Supreme Court. And maybe we will establish as a precedent that Nigerians ought not to be treated in this fashion.
That's right. That's right.
The judge staying away, with all due respect to the learned judex, for whom I have the greatest respect. But like I said, this ruling, it will not take 2 minutes.
That's right.
It will not take 2 minutes to deliver the ruling and then get back to any conference that is attending. So what I want to say, I have said it, I have written to all the security agencies, I have written to major embassies, I've written to the American embassy, I've written to the British embassy, I've written to the French embassy, German embassy, and I've warned that you cannot make the mistake of installing an unconstitutional president in Nigeria.
That's right.
It will have been better that you resolve this question that we brought before the court. We are not saying that the question must be resolved in our favor. We brought the question here to be resolved. We have a right to have the question resolved. Like I always say, hearing belongs to me, decision belongs to the court. You understand? So you cannot make the mistake of installing somebody unconstitutionally. It's an overthrow of the Constitution. That person, now if you read section 1 subsection 2 of the Constitution, it says no person or group of persons shall be permitted to take control of the federal government or any part of it, take control of federation or any part of it, except in accordance with the Constitution. That section invests every Nigerian with authority to resist whoever is sworn in, contrary to the Constitution. Every Nigerian in every station of life, wherever he is, that is an order from the Constitution to that person to resist whoever is sworn in unconstitutionally. So it must be that those who want to do this swearing in have conspired against democracy.
That's right.
And want to overthrow it.
Yes.
The Constitution says, Section 14, subsection 2A, that sovereignty belongs to the people of Nigeria.
That's right.
And they give consent to those who govern through the Constitution. So where you do not observe the Constitution, it means that you do not have the consent of the people to rule. The people have a right to say, we are not going to recognize you or acknowledge you. What is coming to Nigeria is what these people, they are behaving like children, as far as I'm concerned. They are behaving like children. We all saw Shonekon here. Somebody went with a decree, word of mouth, made somebody president and commander-in-chief. A court, it took just one declaration from a court, and it was gone. It's the same thing that we are, the same thing that we are getting into. Any court in Nigeria is invested with the authority to interpret the Constitution and can say that the person who calls himself president was not duly elected and therefore cannot answer that title and cannot give any instructions that should be obeyed. And that would be the beginning of crisis. We have warned against this. I don't know what is making them behave, think that it's a joke. I don't know how you will take 200 million Nigerians as a joke. You know, it's not going to happen. The Constitution says you go and have a second election, but you feel too big. Like I was explaining to someone, it's the same in discipline. Where you have red light, say stop. You feel too big because you are driving your Jeep, you don't stop. It's the same thing. That is, it is the indiscipline in us that we have carried over to this exercise. The Constitution says you've not made it. You've not made 25% in Abuja. Nobody has told me that I'm wrong. There is no constitution. There is no court. I came to this court for the court to tell me that I'm wrong.
That's right.
Rather than telling me I'm wrong, the court, stays away from court.
Mutes.
The court cannot even look me in the eye. So nobody has told me I'm wrong. Nobody has the courage to tell me I'm wrong. Because I am right. So the Constitution says you should go for a second election. It's a simple, very simple thing. Even if that second election does not produce a winner, you go for a third one. You feel too big to comply with the Constitution because all your life has been a life of indiscipline and impunity. Indiscipline. I'm just talking about basic indiscipline. We should be careful how we behave. Look, conformity with the law starts with obeying traffic signs. You disobey traffic signs, you will disobey other provisions of the law. Thank you very much.
Anniversaire en chef d'État ou de jour férié. Le coup de canon collectif aussi le jour de l'indépendance. Et au Nigeria, cela se fait. le grand respect et la loyauté sont foyers inébranlables que les forces armées nigériennes ont pour la fonction que le bureau du président de la République fédérale du Nigeria. Donc, n'est pas peur, on va tirer le 21 pour le canon après cette activité. Merci.
Merci. Thank you very much, Mr. Mohamed Tijani.
It's a great honor. I'm happy that you are here.
I now hand over the microphone to my co-compare, Lieutenant Odunayo Logodana, to guide us through the match pass round.
How are you? Thank you.
Your Excellency, Senior
Thank you
Officers,
very much. Thank you.
distinguished invited guests, ladies and gentlemen. We just witnessed a while ago the guard forming squad without changing formation towards the saluting guys led by the color party to pay their respect to the special guest of honor. And also for the review officer to take a look at the turnout of the guards who are impeccably dressed at close range. Any moment from now, we shall be witnessing march past by the guards. Your Excellencies, the guards having marched into line shortly, the march past round the parade ground will commence with number 1 guard leading, and the other guards following suit in ascending order. The guards will take turn to pay their respect to the special guest of honor, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. May I at this moment please request that when the color parties marches towards your seating position, you are please expected to rise as a mark of respect to the colors, as the colors create a feeling of pride in soldiers and ex-soldiers. Officers and warrant officers in uniform are expected to salute. Thank you.
It must be that those who want to do this swearing in have conspired against democracy and want to overthrow it. The Constitution says, Section 14, subsection 2A, that sovereignty belongs to the people of Nigeria, and they give consent to those who govern through the Constitution. So where you do not observe the Constitution, it means that you do not have the consent of the people to rule. The people have a right to say, we are not going to recognize you or acknowledge you. What is coming to Nigeria is what these people, they are behaving like children, as far as I'm concerned. They are behaving like children. We all saw Shonekon here. Somebody went with a decree or word of mouth, made somebody president and commander-in-chief. A court, it took just one declaration from a court, and it was gone. It's the same thing that we are, the same thing that we are getting into. Any court in Nigeria is invested with the authority to interpret the Constitution and can say that the person who calls himself president was not duly elected and therefore cannot answer that title and cannot give any instructions that should be obeyed. And that will be the beginning of crisis. We have warned against this. I don't know
Yeah, good evening, everyone. Good to be back again. This is Africans in Diaspora Online Network, and it's always a pleasure and it's always a joy to be here again. I know I've been here before the elections, and so many things happened. So many things happened. Since on Saturday, I would say most people in Nigeria, they will be wearing gloom faces. All right. People said they cried sleeping, wake up, they cried sleeping. They said crying and they wake up crying. Well, and in Nigeria, just imagine no celebrations is going on, nothing like that is happening. Damn too bad. Let me please press conference video of His Excellency Mr. Peter Obi. Let me play the video of his press conference today. Okay, let me play it.
Hi people, let me again correct one impression, because I've seen some people saying in the media that